Alright, I'm back. Sort of. I don't know how to change my settings. Going live on Rumble, if anybody's on there. So what I'm trying to do, streaming at Kadosh Living on Rumble, by the way. I'm finishing up a drawing before I get to bed. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Rumble's not serving me very well right now for some reason. There we go. Okay, well, I'm live on Rumble at Kadosh Living, if anybody wants to watch on Rumble. But so my goal is to finish this lettering piece before I go back to bed. Vertically instead of laying down flat, which is painful, causes horrible side effects. It's weird, Rumble is instant, and then YouTube has this massive delay. So I'm doing a speed test on my internet. Got the other computer up to about close to 700 megabits per second. Mine is currently at 85 for some strange reason. This stream, my bitrate is going to stay at 10,000. Even though it's warning me, saying it's low. We think it might be the Ethernet cable. Hopefully. And hopefully not hardware. The Ethernet cable I have is quite thin, but the other one that we used on the other computer is much thicker and working better. So I wanted to change the title of my stream, but quite frankly I'm not sure how. Or, not the title. Thumbnail. Aha. Okay. Am I good to go? The last stream is 2 hours and 22 minutes. And I'm literally just tracing. I said this earlier. I'm just tracing a piece of work that I've already made that I just need to record. Hours just to record. Anyway, if anybody wants to chat, feel free to say hello. Just checking my stream really quick. Let's make sure the quality is okay. better than I deserve. Yeah, I could change my bitrate, but I don't want to risk it this time around. Plus, I'm only drawing, so it's not like my frame rate. It's already at 60 FPS. I don't see why I need to increase it. I'm not playing Fortnite or anything, which I should do someday, possibly, if they've cleaned up their active a little bit, but probably not. Anyway, get back into drawing mode here somehow. So I'm getting a little bit of buffering, but should be fine. I look forward to seeing if a new Ethernet cable can help. I think I said this earlier, but the way I'm drawing right now, I'm only tracing over the work I've already done. So I'm using less of my brain's capacity, which is good because I'm so wiped right now. If I was to draw this lettering piece from scratch, based on it being 2 hours and 22 minutes as is, just from tracing, we're looking at like a week of drawing for one piece. And we don't know if that'll take me a month or a week. Sometimes, actually, this piece that I'm doing right now, it's like I near had a vision to be able to draw it. It's laying down, and I just was able to visualize the grid. I made this one about a year ago, but I never recorded it, and I need to really get active on social media. I don't like having to use that tool where I hold down. I like to just draw a straight line to begin with. I had this idea, it's not going to work, not practical, of recording every single piece of artwork that I ever draw, which would require me to sit at a desk or have my phone recording every single time, so streaming every single time. But I'm not always going to be sitting up at the computer, so that won't work out. But that would be wild. Technically, the iPad records everything, so it already is. so it is documenting everything, which is good. But imagine live streaming every single piece of artwork you've ever drawn your entire life. I was drawing pretty slow earlier. I think I picked up a little bit. Drawing and streaming kind of forces you to perform better. It's almost a bad thing because it's not as relaxing. I don't think most lettering artists stream the entire process of their artwork. I was looking at one of my teachers, and sometimes he would just show a drawing for 2 seconds and then zoom out and say, bam, I'm done. There's my artwork. And then get thousands and thousands of views on it. I don't think he's serious. But they do show the process most of the time. Convenient that I have experience with OBS because of the gaming. So this wasn't too hard to set up. I can only imagine having to learn OBS and drawing and YouTube and everything all at once. Sounds terrible. Unless you enjoy it, then it's fine. I got this tripod that has an arm on it for my webcam, but after I bought it, I'd made the right decision, but after I bought it, I realized you can use a chroma key green screen stand, just use some camera clamps and clamp your camera on to the railing, and then have it go across your table. And then you have a full rig, camera rig, which is really cool. It's only about 30 bucks. So I actually plan on doing that. I remember drawing this letter A and had a hard time with it the first time around. Yeah, at some point I'm definitely getting that chroma key stand, having a table rig. Because then I can do Bible study and interviews with it, react videos, hopefully. Darn. Some days I can get the letter S first try. Other times it doesn't work out. Wow, I need to draw more. I would draw a few hours a day if I could. Just can't. So I'm okay with what I've got now, though. And if anyone is curious, this is going to be, it already is. Is my mic? Okay, sorry. It's already available as a t-shirt at kadoshlife.com. Kadosh life.com. I'm going to change it to Kadosh Living, Living. Dedicated to living a Kadosh life, a holy life. It turned out that somebody, I don't know how I missed it. Somebody's using Kadosh Life right now. I don't know if they'll stick around. Technically, pretty sure that I could still have Kadosh Life as a business. but the person is spiritually wrong. And so if somebody assumed that they were part of my business in ministry, no particular order, well, yes, ministry first, but if they saw that and thought that was part of mine, people would be very angry at what that person's doing. So, no offense to that person. Apostle Paul is very clear with what he said when he wrote this thousands of years ago. Hold me on the timeline. He said, if anyone, even an angel from heaven, preaches a different gospel, it's right there. There's no new gospel. No new gospel to be preached. Christ crucified, nothing more, nothing less. So when I saw that person, I was like, oh. And nothing against the person, like, I feel bad praying for the person. Went to God about it. Told him I was kind of bummed out because Kadosh life would have been really great to own. Really want to emphasize it being a lifestyle, ongoing process, which is what I can do with Kadosh living. So it's fine. But it really bummed me out. Like, you cannot just take a new religion and use a sacred word like that. Just me using the word alone with what I'm doing with the gospel is scary enough. Holding the name Kadosh, that's very scary. Very scary. It's a lot of responsibility. Something you do not want to get wrong. God will hold preachers accountable. I already made some mistakes I'm not too happy about. So if you're bearing, as if bearing the name of Christ wasn't enough, bearing the name Kadosh, holy life, and get it wrong. And I'm going to make mistakes eventually. It's very scary to think about. Especially if it turns out your salvation is false. If somebody wasn't saved. I've seen some unbelievers using the word Kadosh and sacred. Which is interesting, by the way, the word sacred. Sacred geometry. Caught on to that later. The sacredness of it. How it's used in New Age and they call it sacred geometry. They don't realize that geometry is holy geometry. It's God's geometric patterns, mathematical equations. So the New Age using that's very, very dangerous. For their own souls, it's like God's ready and willing to forgive. Whoops. But I remember praying about using the word Kadosh. And I'm like, this name's too good. It's above me. Above draw. I'm very scared to preach. But I'm just not the type of guy that, even though I'm starting a clothing brand, we'll see where it goes, if I keep doing it or not. I'm not the type of guy that can just show off clothes. I talk. I preach. And educate. Used to, anyhow. Can't believe it's almost been 6 years since my last health video. Makes no sense. Still admittedly traumatizing. I have another webcam, by the way, that I could use to show my face, but I can't use it right now. I don't have a chroma key behind me. And I don't think my backdrop will work in here. I could try it, but I don't even know where the webcam is, actually. Huh. I do know. I'm curious. I'll be right back. Good reason for why I didn't plan on using the webcam. Now, do I even have a USB space available? Keyboard, mouse, webcam. Additional webcam. Doesn't reach. Worst thing I do is touch this railing. Okay, so if anybody's actually watching, some of you might know that I have akathisia and my room is kind of damaged. Don't know if I can use it. Unless guess this could work. But if I move anything, I'm done for. Toast. I've got my face on the stream. Now people can see me. I don't know why you'd want to. I'm wearing a winter coat right now because it's already fall out here. I'll get a backdrop or go into a different room next time so I can use the webcam. What I need to do is set up a room that doesn't need to be set up every single time I stream. That's just always ready to hit record. Isn't that a quote from Sean Cannell? Always be ready to hit record. I think it is. Or just say, just hit record. I know where he's coming from when he says that, but it's so not true. So much planning it. Well, I guess when you're starting out, yeah, just hit record. But there's so much planning that could go into a YouTube channel. I really need to finish this. I feel like I could draw this faster. I think I might be a little bit slow at drawing. What I should do is find a way on the days when I do stream and I'm just tracing, hopefully, be able to talk health stuff, but then it would be very strange to turn these videos into shorts. I'd have to clip my face to the top of the screen, and I'd also have to clip the drawing. Weird. Guess I can't do both. Would be nice though. Or just upload horizontally to all the platforms. Just not care. Just because we have to, just because they're vertical, doesn't mean you have to do it. I've seen some YouTubers get away with it, but I don't know if I'm talented enough like they are to do that. It's so strange that I'm getting a bitrate warning at 10,000. They recommend much higher. But I'm getting 60 FPS. I'm in 4K. It doesn't look that bad. So I'm just talking about stuff that only really matters to me right now. Not much on my mind recently, so. I know it's kind of strange that I'm drawing on my health channel. I could see doing like a therapeutic drawing session for people's anxiety, neurological support. But just streaming myself is kind of weird. Do a speed test. 80 megabits download. 12 upload. So it's stabilized. Could increase my bit rate. Not this time. I wonder how many Bible verses I'll be drawing until somebody finally has me draw something other than a Bible verse. This is probably all I'm going to do for today. Or a couple days, honestly. I've been putting off this this piece for a while now. It's a lot more fun when you can stream. So if anybody's in chat, feel free to say hello and strike up a conversation on whatever's on your mind. If you want to ask about Jesus, anything biblical, just not too theologically difficult. But if you got questions about Christianity, let me know. Or my recent interview with Ralph, if you're on my YouTube watching, I'm willing to talk about Ralph. I won't be on much longer. I'm almost done with this. So feel free to ask. Yeah, when I try to draw by myself, I just about fall asleep. But if I stream, it's kind of a little bit more interesting. It reminds me of my gaming, which I still want to do. That desire is still there. I don't know if it's good or bad. And with AI coming out now, it's like I could probably edit a gaming stream pretty quick with AI. It cuts out all the pauses. I think it does. Yeah, it cuts out the pauses, and so I could do highlights pretty quick. And then I can turn long form into short form. It's like, what, $70 a year? It's so tempting, so tempting. But I know that I have to work on this as a career, so I don't... But if I had a friend say, hey man, you want to record some gaming? I'd be like, dude, I'm like severely sleep deprived, but I'm so interested. Like, I'm totally willing to take some pain and do this. And with YouTube Shorts and everything now, it's like, I would love to see what my content that I made back then, a lot cleaner now, but the content that I used to record back then, what it would do on YouTube Shorts, how people would respond to the stuff I did. Well, I would love to find out. Absolutely love it. But I'd have to play different games, a lot more friendly, Christian friendly, and not graphic. If I get my health back, I'll probably be tempted to game. And I know that Scripture says days are evil, and if I'm doing preaching stuff, I don't know if I'll have the energy for it, or the time. But preaching scares me, it really does. So I think we have some people hanging out on Rumble. Looks like maybe a few. Some of you might not be bots, which is cool. If anybody wants to say anything, I've got my chats open. Won't be on for a while after this. It's like I stream tomorrow. No. I have a doctor's appointment that I need to rest up for. How long have I been streaming so far? 2 hours, 3. This take me like 3 or 4 hours. Just tracing. Just tracing. So when you wonder why a designer costs so much, this is why. Even if they deliver something to you, finish a design in a day, all the time they spent studying how to do design and to make it match with your marketing, that's why they're not cheap. I know one guy, he charges like $10,000 minimum. His name's Chris Doe. Probably know who he is. But he can charge that much. I don't know if it's just because he's a good designer or because he's really good at speaking. I think his conferences cost a ton of money. Meanwhile, I'm the type of guy that's like, sure, I'll do something for free. Sounds like fun, I'll help you out. Used to be, but now it's more like, I can't, I really have to take care of myself right now, I'm so sorry. Won't be long because I gotta sleep, but I enjoy your work and commentary. I appreciate that. Thanks. I just want to say you're great at this, and I really hope to see more of you in your content. Sending my love and support. Keep at it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Seriously. Oh, and get well soon, brother. I wish all the best. Thank you, Urban Background Noise. I really appreciate that. And you have a really cool username, by the way. Do you have a channel by any chance? check out your channel if you have one. If not, thanks for hanging out and listening. Hopefully see you around sometime, man. Once again, thanks for the get well wishes. I really appreciate it. And yet, I don't know if you left or not, but whether you did or not, I thought about just, it's like, I can draw and talk, and maybe the commentary on this would be fine too. Like, I used to do commentary on my gaming. Why not just transfer it over to the drawing? Obviously, it's not going to be like comedy or anything. I just have to be careful with the amount of energy that I have. Yeah, and I thought about it earlier. I'm like, I said this earlier. I don't know if it was in the previous stream or this one, the stream before I had to reboot my stream. I was like, nobody would even watch Bob Ross paint for hours, but they'll watch a short show. So what would convince somebody, or anybody, even myself, who would want to hang out for a long time on stream? I was like, wait a minute, commentary, conversation. Whoops. But the problem is, 90% of the time when I'm drawing, I can't talk. But if I'm tracing over stuff or teaching something that I already know well enough, I could probably talk. Probably be fine. Even though I don't have much to say right now, there's always something going on in my head. So somebody will listen. I know it. What I was doing earlier with my vlog, I recorded a vlog of just me literally running an Ethernet cable across my property. And then I'm editing another one just talking about my life situation. And I'm like, who's gonna watch this? I'm like, wait a minute. Let's give this a try, just in case. It's strange because my normal format, my dad in the background, my normal video format was always educational. Or the comedy with the games. But yeah, so I literally, I've done stuff like this before though. I vlogged myself just recording an Ethernet cable. Talked about getting attacked by dogs. Which I need to think about how I'm going to edit that video. But I really love the new AI that cuts out all the pauses. I used to spend hours cutting that stuff out. Hours, literally hours. it does it in like 2 minutes or less, depending, maybe longer sometimes. But yeah, that's why I thought, if it can cut out pauses like that, why not mess around with the gaming channel again? If I have the energy. You know what I need to do? It's so funny because my viewers, oops, my room is messed up from the akathisia. Be careful. My viewers are health related, but I'm literally just doing a completely different subject here. But what I need to do is add some tags onto this video while it's live, and then get to bed in about an hour. I only got 3 hours of sleep yesterday. But I think live video is searchable, so I really need to add tags. You would think soon enough that the AI, YouTube would start using AI and just record your conversations and automatically tag for you, which would be really nice. Procreate, drawing, commentary, lo-fi, hangout, cursive, hand lettering, art. Philippians 4:8. Spelled Philippian wrong. Philippians. Huh. I'll definitely get that one right one day. That's 59 minutes on this stream. 59 minutes. I'm getting there. Almost done with this one. And then it could take me days or weeks. I've got another Bible verse, a couple maybe, that are ready to record. I should subscribe to this guy that commented earlier. Go to channel. I'm bogging down my computer so much right now, I might crash it if I'm not careful. Subscribe. Yeah, so if anybody chats, I subscribe. I like watching other people's channels sometimes. Like on TikTok, if somebody leaves a comment, I'll go view their profile. And it was funny, this one guy one time, he's like, "Why are you watching my videos?" I'm like, "I'm just curious. Curious who's watching me." You're watching mine, why can't I check out your channel? It's really funny. tags to my stream, but by the time that they kick in, probably will be logging off. Find my luck. There's some guy that's out watching the hurricane, streaming on his phone. He's a reporter. My mom's been watching him. But he's got like 200,000 subscribers. Clearly has a successful YouTube channel. And the guy does not have a stabilizer for his camera. I don't. My phone has one built in. Don't really need it though. Not for what I do. I like what Casey Neistat says. He likes to have his videos on tripods most of the time, but he doesn't like it when people are holding the camera talking. I think I agree with him. I think the still frames look better. But this guy, he's like walking in the hurricane, and his phone's shaking the whole time, just like a shaky screen. I'm like, you have 200,000 subscribers. You do not have a stabilizer on your camera. And I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, this guy needs a stabilizer. They're like $50. You can get them from China for $50. And he spent more than that while he was out there for gas and traveling from his home back to the hurricane. I'm like judging the guy that's doing better than me. It's funny. But you would think he would want a stabilizer. Whoops. For his videos. And I know he'd have to deal with the battery and everything. And he should be mic'd up. It would be so much better. But none of these guys are doing that. It's crazy. And it's super cheap to do. It's not that expensive. Considering the amount of money that you make on your channel. You're making money on your channel. You should be reinvesting in it. Just get the stabilizer, bro. Hey. Not too shabby. What does a shabby cat look like? Okay, I'm getting... I'm trying to get this done before 11, but it's not going to happen. 10:25, no way. Use a bigger brush. Fill this in. Don't mess up. This is supposed to be relaxing. Just relax. Just Bob Ross. Get the Bob Ross going. Putting a time constraint on myself is just going to stress myself out and make the situation worse. So I'm finally going to get a sample of one of my hats that I drew. It's a simple monoline script. But I'm like, which one do I want to sample first? I spent hours trying to figure it out. Messaged my friend that wears suits. He's a firefighter now. He was notoriously known for wearing suits in his fashion. So I asked him. Asked a friend that's into wearing sneakers. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is just color theory. But some people just naturally know. So my friend that used to wear suits, or well, still suits up, for sure. It's like he just naturally knew color theory. Like, meanwhile, I'm supposed to be the designer that should know it better. One day, maybe. If it's even necessary. Literally, though, I spent hours just... Like, should I get the navy blue hat? Should I get the royal blue hat? Should I go black? And I'm like, I'm just gonna buy all of them. I'm like, no, it's not. I know it's not expensive, but I am saving for Mayo Clinic, so let's not do that. Even though I'm selling these. I'm like, okay, maybe get the navy. It's more casual. And then I'm like, but I want the blue. I like the blue. But let's say that I was preaching. And imagine that my channel is up on a podium. Not saying that I am. Like, would I wear a bright blue hat up on stage in front of people? Because even though I'm on TikTok, you're still preaching. But nobody ever said that you can't wear streetwear. Although, if you wore streetwear in front of God, he'd probably incinerate you. Just being honest. So though we go to church and don't always dress up, under a real, I guess you could say, sanctuary with Christ, you'd probably be dressed up. All the rules that were involved in the Bible for the tabernacle, I think it is tabernacle. I have to look it up. Can't memorize everything in it. The square footage and the colors that they had to do, obey, show up in a snapback hat, some streetwear. Just watching this Peter Pan movie. Kid falls in the water and drowns. I know it's really graphic, but hear me out. He gets struck by lightning. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, clearly God was involved in this one. I'm like, you don't fall in the water and then get struck by lightning by accident. And I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. It's never gonna happen by accident. In any situation. Nowhere, ever. I just conveniently fell in the water and got struck by lightning. It's like, I wrestled a bear. And then was struck by lightning. That's actually a reference. I forget that wasn't a bear though. What was that? I wish Ken Fui was around. He'd know what I'm talking about. I don't think it was like a final countdown. This is this movie that came out years ago. It's like a T-Rex. It was a music video, I think. That was so popular back then. Like 100 million views, I think. Just a ton back then. Everybody watched it. Everybody, literally. What was it? I should Google it. Struck by lightning. T-Rex music video. I'm not gonna be able to find it. No way. Please don't crash my computer browsing. I'd have to ask Ken Fui. I should message him, see if he's on. Discord. It's hard to keep in touch with him. What's that music video years ago where the guy's like riding a T-Rex, there's laser beams, and gets struck by lightning, question mark? Had like 100 million views on the video. Curious to see if he responds. Somebody has to know what I'm talking about. Somebody. I'll keep an eye on the chat just in case. What? What do you mean? Yes, for the stream. It's lo-fi. Wasn't it like bit by a cobra and struck by lightning? It has to be. I'm trying to get this work done though. Bit by a cobra. Struck. Yeah, that's it. Struck by lightning, bit by a cobra. I found it. That's totally what it was. Yeah, Kung Fury, wasn't that it? 30-minute short, but a full-length feature. That's what it was. How long ago was that? 2018? No, wait. I gotta be careful, I don't know how appropriate it is these days. I haven't seen it in a long time. What happens if you're bitten by a cobra at the exact same time you're struck by lightning? Yeah. That's what it was. I can't believe I remembered that. I'll be right back. I gotta go AFK for a second here. Turn that camera off for a second. least my stream is being noticed, at least. You know, it's not the greatest, but probably shouldn't say that. And my stream is very professional. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you guys are interested. I'm an intermediate artist, close to professional. See that perfectly straight line I just drew? Sometimes when you draw these lines, if you kind of mess up like that, they don't go straight, and you get these really weird jagged edges. I am so tempted still to try gaming again. I said that like right when I got injured. I was still out and about, didn't have akathisia yet, and I remember I was on Instagram and I'm like, I still want to try gaming, and I probably shouldn't. All the energy with the gaming, probably should be going to Bible study and preparing things to speak about. But I was always curious if I could entertain to that extent. Oops. So this drawing, it's actually, it's less texture than the original. This A looks kind of cool. It's like it's got personality to it. You could almost give it some eyes, bring it to life. It's like it's wearing a hat. It's got some ears. Wait. It's got some blue eyes here. Got a face. Ouch. Sorry. You guys see that? It's like a person. It's got some shoelaces. That's something my friend would draw. Oh yeah. Mustache. Got a nose there too. Wait, that doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah. Okay. I'm not an illustrator, I'm just a lettering guy. Back to the artwork. I wonder how fast somebody that has years ahead of me in drawing could do this. I'm trying to relax, not be chirped on. I'm pretty tired, to be honest with you. There's not enough people for the bird. Gonna blow people's ears out. Oh, you can take her whenever you want. I don't know. I'm making mistakes. Ow! Right in the ear. Stop it. Ow! Where are you going? Did that get caught on camera? Bird caught on camera. My window's sort of open, by the way. I haven't slept yet. Can't be noisy. Whatever you do, do not go near my screen. I am recording my screen for a video. Don't you dare. My window's sort of open. Just don't step on my pillow. Thanks. If you could take her, because I'm recording the drawing, I don't want her to get to the screen, get in the way. Did she fly underneath? Yeah. She flew low to the ground to get to my mom. When we first got her, her wings were clipped and she was very insecure. And then our conscience kept convicting all of us about her being clipped, and so we let them grow out, and then the moment she could fly, her personality was all lit up. I mean, they have wings for a reason. It was kind of unfortunate at the same time, though, because it was fun to hang out with the bird outside, but she would fly away if she wouldn't come back to me, I don't think, if I let her out. She got out once and came back, but that's very, very rare from what I can tell. But people don't train their birds, so I don't know. I want to build an outdoor cage one of these days. Just get some cheap furring strip with some chicken wire. I think she'd be okay with it. make it like 20 feet long or something, so she can fly around outside. Maybe some sort of entrance from my cage to that one. Okay. The letter O. Oh no, I forgot to put the blackout curtain up. It's too late now. This is when you guys can't tell me that I'm cheating by tracing. But like, what if this guy just got this artwork off the internet and is tracing it to pretend he can draw? I was worried about that actually for a minute. But you don't see somebody trace an O like that and get away with it. Like that. That takes practice. I remember I was drawing concept cars. My friend and I were really into entrepreneurship, and I wanted to start a car company, very similar to what Tesla's doing today, funny enough. But I wanted to take it a step further than that. I wanted better designs and more aerodynamic and smaller vehicles. But oops, need to keep some of that texture. But I was learning how to draw cars. I didn't get very good at it, by the way. And just finish this. Hang on. I started practicing. I don't know why I decided to do it. Just randomly thought of it. I would practice circles on our coffee table. And they just got better and better over time. So I'd literally just be like this on the coffee table, drawing millions and millions of circles. And then it eventually turned into these for the lettering. So I literally just, no joke, just sat on the coffee, next to the coffee table and drew circles all over the page. Don't remember why, just felt like it. I must have had a good reason. Maybe it was because of the tires of the cars that I was wanting to design. I really considered it for a while. When I was actually younger, I met a guy in RuneScape. This is a real true story. And I told him that I wanted my own car company. Big dream. And he wanted one of the cars one day. And I promised him that I would name a car that he would remember. And so I was going to name it SB. It's like somebody steals this car name. It'd be ridiculous. The few viewers I have right now hear this and steal it. SB was short for my username, which was SkateBob. My friend had me join RuneScape, and I didn't know what my username should be at the time. He showed me RuneScape at the time and put me on the spot. He's like, pick a name. I'm like, well, I have skateboard. Let's just pick skateboarding and Bob. Because, you know, when you're young, all you know is the name Bob. And so I was like, one day I'm gonna have my own car company. It's never gonna happen. But, and the guy that I talked to, he's gonna see a car on the road called SB, and I'm gonna put his username in there too as well. His was like had 7777 at the end of his username. I don't want to give his name out just in case. So I was like, I'll make mine SB7777. Be this really weird car name. It's like something Elon Musk would do, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it. Yeah. I had this big old dream. Then I realized one day we all have to die. And I'm like, I really need to decide what I'm putting my energy towards. Like, I'm not going to contribute to this car industry. It's a lot of effort, and I don't know if I'm interested in it that much to do it. I've had a lot of those existential moments, just being honest. I saw this recently, I don't know if I should say it. Somebody's like, I don't agree, thankfully. Ecclesiastes here would say otherwise. People like, there's like a popular video that went around. It said, did you know if you eat healthy, you still die? And I was actually having the same existential crisis a little bit on occasion. But I'm like, wait a minute. I'm only alive today because I'm an herbalist. After everything that's happened to me, I found an herb that got me off the floor, literally. And I'm like, talk about how we need to be healthy, or take care of ourselves before it's our time to get to see Christ. And so while we're down here, we should try and reduce the amount of pain that we have to go through. Anyway, I just went from cars to an existential crisis very quickly. Okay, some of this drawing is getting a little bit sloppy here. Almost done. Whoops. It was like 8 a.m. I was feeling the fatigue. And I'm like, I'm ready for bed. Now it's 11. I've got to get this done though. I'm not coming back to record this. I prepared to set this up a couple days ago. Had some issues. Wait, no, I think it was fine. I don't know what happened. I think I just decided that it was a practice run. So then, yeah, I started the stream earlier. Yesterday? Or the day before? And my bitrate just would not be tolerated for streaming. Just kept crashing. Tried to keep it at like 34,000. That's what's recommended around that. I'm not gaming though, so I realized I didn't need it. but my stream kept buffering, and I'm like, oh no, I can't have buffering. Buffering's the worst. Low frame rate people can deal with. That's what somebody said, and I agree with them. And so I'm like, okay, Ethernet cable. That should solve my problem. And I think it did. Maybe, or, well, actually, no, I don't think it did. I think it improved my internet quality, but I decided to drop my bitrate down to 10,000. I noticed a lot of people are streaming at like 8,000, 4 and 8,000. I'm like, that's really low. But I realized, I'm like, hey, I was probably streaming at that 2 years ago. I said that like this, number 2. I was streaming like that years ago as well. And I didn't really notice, so whatever. So the bitrate that I'm at right now, 10,000 seems to be fine for drawing. It's literally just my hand moving, barely. But one thing that I really needed was to make sure that's in 4K. Because the guys that I'm learning from, and kind of emulating a bit with my own style, they use DSLRs from what I can tell. Because their video quality is so great. But I can't imagine recording with a DSLR because it takes hours and hours to record. And I'm like, it's like a terabyte of hardware or hard drive space to record video like this. And the camera will probably start overheating. And I'm like, I don't know. It just sounded like too much work. And so I decided, like, wait, I've got a webcam that's a Logitech.
She's saying goodbye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I was trying to show off her tail.
You're on the wrong side. Ah. She flew away. I forgot what I was talking about.
I think she wants to be present on your coat.
Yeah, thanks. Bye. It's really hard to draw. I totally forgot what I was talking about. What if I can catch my stream? I was talking about 4K. That's what it looks like. Oh yeah. So they're in 4K using DSLRs. And I'm like, I don't have the money for that right now. And even if I did, there's so much storage space. And then I came up with the idea, I'm like, wait, I'll just live stream and then download the stream and upload it. Eventually I'd have to get a DSLR though. And then just stream with that. I would live stream with the DSLR. But the cam I'm using now should be fine. Most people won't notice. Okay, so how long does that take me per row? How long has the stream been going? Gosh. How many hours did this take me? Hour 40, and then the other one is what? 2 hours? I'm documenting how much time it took to draw this. white layer. But yeah, if you're ever worried about storage space, just take advantage of YouTube and Rumble and Twitch for storage space. But be careful with Twitch. They delete your streams unless you pay monthly, I think. They changed it a lot from what I remember them as years ago. Okay, let me see if I can get this S. Since I'm warmed up. Oops. That's fine. But yeah, at first the webcam, it looked really bad. The quality was terrible. And my dad bought one of the good Logitech ones. He didn't even need one. I was having issues with his spending. So I had this really nice Logitech that I actually wanted to buy years ago with my channel. And turns out there was an app to edit the brightness and contrast and all that, so I had to really hone in on the settings. I think I went some auto eventually. But everything's in 4K. Zoomed out the camera so I can make vertical videos. I know it's not super close for everybody else. It's not that bad though, actually, when I think about it. So it's ready for every platform. I need to get on TikTok though. They require 500 to 1,000 people. I'm still trying to figure out that Peter Pan movie that I watched last night. I didn't even know that was a movie. No idea. Is it like from one of the books, or is it an original? It was weird. It was like how Peter Pan came to be. He ran away because he didn't want to grow up or something. That was such a weird movie. It was funny though, I was sleeping and I woke up to the movie and I'm like, what am I watching? What is this? It just literally wake up and this thing's right in front of my face, playing. It wasn't the movie I fell asleep to for the nap. It was like a movie about their emotional turmoil. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like just this weird plot. I'm so close to finishing this. Okay, technically a U is like an O, but the problem with the U is that it's got these vertical lines. I used to never draw like this. I usually just do a straight line once. But recently, drawing like this for some reason. But these straight lines really make it hard to draw an O. That would have worked, but the pencil thinks I'm tilting. Stuff in. Go undo that. Zoom in and go from left to top. I don't know if any of my subscribers are watching right now. I know I've got some on Rumble and stuff. But have you guys seen Food Babe going around petitioning Kellogg's right now? I'm hoping she'll have a breakthrough. Literally all the chemicals they use in the food here is banned in pretty much every other country that they sell their food. So they literally have cereal that I could probably eat in other countries, but the ones here, nope, too toxic for me. So everybody's teaming up with Food Babe. Actually, when before, did they go to Congress about it? They might have. I forget what it was. But even Kennedy got involved. Just a really big deal. Well, it took her, what, 15 years to get to this point? It's crazy. The natural health industry, always 10 years ahead, always. Because it's just common sense. So like the medications, we knew that they were dangerous. Nobody really knew about akathisia though, for some reason. And Mike Adams talking about all the toxins in the environment and everything. But everybody, hit the tripod. Everybody talked about pills and big pharma. And now, finally, nothing's going to come out of it too much. In their commercials, they mention the movement disorders that their pills cause. They're like, oh yeah, our drugs cause brain damage, by the way. But this one, not as bad. This one doesn't cause it as bad. It's like they didn't change until they started getting caught. It's just a matter of how many people could catch on before they could, get caught. So let's injure hundreds of thousands, millions actually, as far as I can tell. 500,000 documented. tardive dyskinesia. I think it's up to 600 maybe. Now we have to acknowledge it in our commercials. Oops. I keep telling myself in the video that I'm making, I'll start from the top. So now the same is sort of happening with the food industry. The meds and the foods, people are catching on more. It's like with TikTok and all these other platforms now, they really can't get away with what they used to back then. They still will, but I don't know, not to the extent. People are always going to be ignorant. Even I was ignorant, but I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. Like, what do you do when you can't sleep? I found one herb that was helping, but it was slowing down my heart too much. So I stopped taking it. And no, it didn't cause heart failure that I have. That's from the injury. I know a herbalist. I better be careful. Maybe I won't mention it. Some of these herbalists don't realize that some of the side effects that they're experiencing in their lives are from their own supplements. And so it seems like I've been one of the few that always warn people about side effects. I had a pretty bad mess up with herbs once. Not knowing I had thin blood one day. Just about darn near fell in the bathroom. But I recovered. You know, it's like if you have a side effect with an herb, you typically recover. But there's finally some people coming out about some of these nootropics, like, what is it? Memory issues because of the fatigue. I know the herb, lion's mane. Some guy got really, really hyper on it and could not sleep. Bad. Like, needing pharmaceuticals to sleep because of how hyper it made him. Which I knew about. With some of these, it's not what happened to me, by the way. I knew about it because I read a publication of a guy that took ginseng. I always warn people about ginseng when I can. Like, my dad had some and I said, no, don't take that. There's a guy that, my dad's got neurological stuff, so I don't think it would be safe for him to take. That's why I told him to avoid it. But he seemed to have been fine at the time. But the article I read, I might have talked about it before. This guy took ginseng, and he got so hyper off of it that he hopped on his bike. I think he was a cyclist, but he biked for miles, literally just screaming. Crazy. And then he stopped taking it and he was fine. And I remember reading that and I'm like, whoa. Herbs are strong. Or can be. But I never really had issues like that. Nothing that serious. And then when I would sell herbs, I would always try them before selling them. It's like, if I'm going to give something to somebody that they're going to consume, I better know how it's going to act in my own body. So, always... Oh, can't really responded. actually figured it out. It's Kung Fury. What happens if you're bitten by a cobra at the exact same time you're struck by lightning? Question mark. He responded. Yeah, so I always wondered how many doctors take some of their medications before prescribing them. It's probably against the law. It's like, you don't know how these drugs feel and you're giving them to people. Oops. Why does this look strange? That's alright. Dr. Whit Dorian, actually. I don't know if you guys know him. He was taking some, I think it was benzos. He took a benzo from one of his friends and was trying it out. He had like compulsive intrusive thoughts from it. Real relaxing talk. Oops. Guess I'll add one last thing. Is a lot of doctors, they probably don't even know that some of them themselves can't take the medications that they give people. Don't even realize it, and then one day they will, and it'll be too late. Which in some cases it is. Because even healthy individuals, that's what I was told by the forensic scientists, have the genetic issues and don't even know it. Oops. Okay, so based on how long it takes me to do this, I've never actually paid attention to how long it takes. Prices of my t-shirts are going up, just a little. Gotta be honest with you guys. How long has it been? Hitting 2 hours. Okay, speed round. Somehow. The sun came out and I didn't have the blackout curtain set up, which I said earlier, but now it's getting in the way. looks like this. It's a 1 point, single point 3D. Goes to the center, sort of. See, this is the grip that I need to have on the pencil all the time. If I can learn how. Because this is where my straight lines come in. See the transparent design underneath. Whoops. Keep forgetting that long story. I wanted to show that I'm drawing the 3D. Let me just redo this whole thing. I might not even use it in the video, but just to be safe. Better. I want people to see in the video that I was drawing a 3D grid. Although I did mess up the 3D on this one, that's alright. I had to cut down the talking because I really need to focus. It's weird. People are watching on my YouTube this stream, but it didn't tell me that people were actually watching. And then out of the blue, somebody pops up in chat. It's like really confused. It would be cool if this stream could become a way for people to stop scrolling on their phones and just be like, ah, I can chill. They catch themselves just endlessly scrolling and then see my stream and they're like, oh, there's a way away from this endless scrolling. Because like, look at the delayed gratification. This is with me all sped up too. Drawing. How much effort it actually takes to get something from this. Whoops. That's weird. Faster, I keep making mistakes. Yeah, so one of the things with video editing and recording and reading, writing, and drawing is the delayed gratification involved. But social media is rewiring people's brains to think that they can just be satisfied right away. And then it actually leaves you anxious because you want it more often. And I read a study showing that just thinking about your phone can give you anxiety. And I was like, whoa, that's serious. Just the thought of your phone makes you anxious. Think about that. So imagine how many people out there need to break up with their phones. There's a book titled that. How to Break Up with Your Phone. And I'm not against shorts per se, because I've made a whole bunch of goofy videos and stuff. But sometimes you don't stop scrolling. It's bad. And what they need to be treated like, maybe I could be wrong, what I like to treat them as are trailers or intros to people's channels. So you can like view somebody's channel. This is kind of like a commercial, unfortunately. A commercial to join somebody's channel. Like a preview. The only issue with that though is only giving somebody 60 seconds isn't much of an opportunity for you or the creator to find out if it'd be a good match to watch their entertainment. How many people do you like meet for 60 seconds and decide if you're going to keep talking to them or not? In some cases, yeah. You're like, this guy's a freak. Sometimes on YouTube I do that. I'll see a short video and I'm like, I hope I never see this guy's channel ever again. This guy's terribly immoral. So I learned something about creating art. I'm still learning, by the way, if you haven't noticed. But people copy art more than you realize. It's actually necessary to copy, to create. And it took me a while, like, how to rationalize copying. And I finally realized it's like, okay, when you go to school for filmmaking, they teach you certain techniques for film. I'm sure they do the same in art school. They teach you certain painting techniques and observation techniques. But when you're learning hand lettering, nobody teaches you that stuff. But if you want to get good at something, you actually do. You have to copy. And the same with music. Musicians, they learn from their favorite musicians and bands. They'll learn a song and then copy parts of that song and make their own. Which is why it's so important to put good stuff out there. With what you say and do. Everything. So I learned you copy. And I guess the best way of saying it would be reference. You're referencing something. I'm almost done. This took hours. Which typically would have been fine. I didn't draw this G the way I wanted to, but that's okay. Just glad I got it done. I'll regret this later when I edit. Maybe not. Forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so if you're trying to get good at anything, I'm learning. I heard this entrepreneur, I think his name's Sabri? He's like, if somebody's not running a business that you want to do, if you have a new idea, there's probably a reason why somebody else isn't doing it. It's probably not a good business. Otherwise, somebody else would already be doing it. Although there was a time when I was trying to start a food delivery business, like Instacart, before Instacart came out. And then a guy that I farmed with saw what I was doing, and he had more money than I did, and tried to start his own delivery business, and he tanked. But we both made a mistake, is that we didn't do it on an app. I don't know if Instacart started on an app. They sure went that way. So like there's some instances to where there's new ideas, but most of the time it's not. So I'm learning with art and video. If somebody's not doing it, then it's probably not a good sign. But moral of the story, I guess you could say, you have to copy people. That doesn't mean steal. You have to reference. If you don't reference, you're not going to get better. It's like picking up a guitar. It's already been invented. But you're exploring the chords on your own, trying to make songs. Which is what I tried to do, sort of. And when you first start out, you kind of do that just because you're playing around with the instrument. But typically, I'd say you typically know when something's going to be a good idea. Legitimately, unless you're deceiving yourself. So like an example, my brother's friend has a drone company, drone business. He was an artist, I don't know what happened. And it's like fireworks shows with drones, basically. You just know that's going to work. Maybe you have some hesitation, like, this is expensive and whatnot. But drones are cool and people think they're going viral on the internet. You know it's gonna be alright. Maybe. So if you're getting into art and video, I'm not very good at, copying yet. Making my own. Unless I spend hours and hours, then you get something like this. This literally took hours. I forgot where I was going. That's alright. I don't know, you see like how many people have a bakery? Quite a few people own bakeries. Maybe not the most successful business, but it works in some occasions. In the right town, right prices. Got a friend at the smoothie shop, seems to be doing okay so far. Restaurants are one of the main failing businesses, I learned. People eat. People want to eat out. It's like that's going to be okay, sort of. And then for me, I'm getting into this because my brother does art for a living. And I saw an opportunity, not because of him, but somebody else actually, on social media. I'm like, wait a minute. You can just make videos of yourself being good at something now, these days, with art. And you can make a living. Like, I knew you could be a graphics artist, but online, like this, that's cool. And with my health, I'm like, okay, this is probably a good route to go. I already pushed my limits today. Probably do this once a month, maybe. This style. I'll probably stream more often than that, but I'd say, by the way, speaking of a bakery, if you're listening, probably shouldn't open a bakery, from what I've heard, to be honest with you. You might be better off like washing people's windows. Go to a wealthy town and wash people's windows. Go to California and wash windows and make $100 grand a year, 60 to 100 grand. I'm giving out money advice and I'm broke. But it's because I can barely stand on my feet, so. But I've been observing so much. It's like, there's so many opportunities out there. It's crazy. Like my ex-girlfriend, she's not now. She was just driving for Uber, making almost $3 grand a month for Uber. I'm like, do you know how many people could use $3 grand a month? I'm like, I would be doing that right now if I could. Stay living with my parents, keep holding on to my dreams as long as I can, while being smart with my money, do Uber and try a business. And add in Instacart. That's what I probably would have done. Like right now, if I was able, I'd keep drawing. I gotta, trying to practice here, hang on. I'd probably keep drawing do Uber so I can buy more merch and pay for ads for my ecom. And then I probably wouldn't have to ask my subscribers for help if that was the case. Like this one guy I listened to, he's like, just get a basic job so you can pay to start up your startup. Just common sense stuff, but people need to hear it, honestly. And for me, I'm like, maybe I can do eBay again, reselling and flipping. But even then, it's hard to get out. I met a guy, it's crazy. I heard Gary Vaynerchuk. It's so weird talking about money when you're broke. Just hear me out though. Gary Vaynerchuk was doing garage sales. And I saw the money he was making. I was like, whoa. Money's kind of fun to talk about sometimes with the right intentions. And so I started garage selling. And my mom got in on it. She was selling farmhouse stuff at the time, I think. But we started doing both. And then she found out about estate sales, and we started going there. And I met this guy. Doing estate sales. Worked for this woman that had her own estate sale business, and her husband was running it before he passed away. Heartbreaking. But he saw that I was learning how to resell, figuring it out on my own. And I'd go to their estate sales. And he'd be like, hey, there's this item for sale in the room upstairs or in that room over there. Go grab that and sell it. He's like, I would sell it, but I've already got my hands full working the estate sale, and I've already got some stuff. He's like, go grab that and it will make money. And I'd like profit like $65 just from one item, listening to him. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Then he taught me, he's like, this is Swarovski glass, crystal. Some Swarovskis are worth a lot. He's like, you could get in the jewelry, it's a little bit difficult. But every time I'd grab something, I'd be like, I think this might be worth something. This is before I was searching for stuff on my phone. I'd go up to the table and show him the stuff. And he'd be like, oh, that's not worth that much. Or he'd be like, oh, yeah, buy that one. And this is literally a guy making $100,000 a year flipping stuff part-time because he was working for the estate sale company. So I guess altogether it was both combined, he'd be making about $100,000 a year. But he's like, yeah, I make $100,000 a year. I'm like, why are you driving such a crappy car though? And so I realized, I'm like, whoa, I can make $100,000 a year flipping stuff on eBay. And then Gary Vaynerchuk said the same thing. He's like, you can make $100,000 a year doing this. I miss it actually. It was a ton of fun. I'm trying to draw to slow myself down to be able to do it again. Even if it's just $100 a month. And then once I heard Vaynerchuk say it, I'm like, oh yeah, doing this. And nowadays, I'll give you guys a secret. To people on Rumble and the few on YouTube right now. If you want to flip stuff and make money, this No, hear me out. Just because I'm disabled and broke doesn't mean I don't know my stuff. Make sure you have internet on your phone. And get the app Google Lens. Older people are figuring this out too. They're catching on. Use Google Lens on your phone, and when you're at a sale, take a picture of it and have Google Lens tell you what it is if you don't know what it is, and then go on eBay and look at sold listings of that item that the lens told you about. And make sure it's not a fake. Crystal, it's hard, you might accidentally find a fake. But let's just say a generic object that's really obvious of what it is. It's got a barcode on it or something, or it's like a Barbie doll or whatever. Whatever it is you get, look at the solds and see if they've been selling within the recent month or two, whatever you feel most comfortable with waiting, and just make sure that it's selling. And no joke, you'll make money. No joke. Guaranteed. Careful how I say that. Can't guarantee anything in business. But it's worked for me. But I just can't get out and do it anymore. And then if you do estate sales, if you meet the right people on occasion, you might meet somebody like the guy I met that will teach you how to flip stuff. But one of the issues at estate sales and even garage sales, it's ridiculous, is that they overprice their stuff. And so sometimes when you go to these places, you're just buying stuff that they accidentally missed with their prices. They typically want to price it high, and then they made a mistake and priced it too low for themselves. But when you do those estate sales, it's like, come on, just sell them for a low price so you can get the stuff out for the person that you're helping out, and then let the reseller make their money. And then typically, not always, but a lot of times, you come back like the next day and everything's like a quarter off or half off. Some of the stuff was just still sitting there. It's like, and their stuff was just priced way too high. It's like, if you have an estate sale company, you should be pricing your stuff, personally, price your stuff to where somebody can resell it and buy it off of you. Because then you sell out the person's stuff that you're helping, so then it makes your business look good, and it helps out a reseller, so everybody wins. And I know it doesn't work that way perfectly, but it's fun to be on the hunt too. Almost done. So it's noon. But yeah, somehow I got sucked into drawing, trying to make money doing this, which takes way longer. Way longer. Learning SEO and marketing for t-shirts and video and and then I probably won't do hired gigs. I don't know, maybe. If somebody asked me, I probably would. Especially if my brother's like, hey, I got somebody that could hire you. I'd try and do it. I'd even like sign a contract and say, I'm disabled, if this doesn't work, that's why. And then before COVID, it was kind of estate sale related. It was actually. It's flipping furniture. Some people would get furniture from these estate sales. Some would be like mid-century modern MCMs, and they'd be worth a few grand sometimes. Not always. At least $500. At least. 300 to 500. Maybe some tables for like $100. 50 minimum, I guess. Anything below that's not worth your time. But you could paint some of these, not always MCMs. Sometimes those should stay how they are. And so I was getting furniture and painting them. And I live in a wealthy county. Some of these guys just have a ton of money, just a ton. And you could get furniture, tables and marble top tables and mid-century modern stuff that sometimes people give away for free because they just want it out of their house, and flip it for like $500, literally $500. I had these 2 tables that were marble top that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I forget how much I got them for, like 100 something. I went there so fast to get those things. And sold them fairly. They looked like these laser engraved tables. They weren't like hand carved. It was laser carved or CNC or something. But they were still worth a ton of money. This guy had like a $500,000 house, maybe $1 million house. Yeah, closer to $1 million. Sucks not being able to do this stuff. I wish I could. If I could get more stable, maybe. I'm like pinching pennies. I'm like, oh look, $20. Cool. But anyway. No, time for everything, as the Bible says. Go to this guy's house and grab the furniture, and I sell it on Facebook. I found these twice. Met some guy at a church once, picked it up too, Catholic church. Another set. I think that one broke though. I forget what happened to that one. But a woman bought the tables off of me for about $500. And there was a guy flipping furniture. He had his own YouTube channel and would paint furniture, and I was painting too a little bit. He had a Discord channel, still does probably. And he would teach you how to paint and flip furniture. Everybody would just help each other in the group. But this is before COVID hit. Once COVID hit, you could no longer make like 100, 150 grand a year doing it. And I was already too disabled to just make a few grand here and there. But the money was just so awesome before COVID hit. And then people started YouTubing it, and their YouTube channel started blowing up, and some people literally, like, they stopped selling the furniture that they were painting because they were making money on their YouTube channels and started doing that full time. It was crazy. I just watched the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm starting a channel, but then I kept going into akathisia because I was so sleep deprived and exhausted from trying to paint furniture. But people found me right away on YouTube doing it, and I'm like, sweet, I could do this. But then I remember that my neighbor got cancer from some of the chemicals, and so I tried to use some natural paint, and I still didn't feel right about it, having to sand that stuff. But you don't even need to paint furniture. You can just flip it. My mom and I used to get a haircut from this guy, and he would sell MCMs and cut hair and sell mid-century modern furniture. 50 grand extra a year just from the furniture. And it's really frustrating knowing this stuff when you can't go out and do it. And you have to sit here and draw. Not to say that this isn't worth it, because this is totally worth getting God's word out. And people will buy my t-shirts and stuff eventually. But just knowing the fact that I know I could go out and flip furniture and all that just drives me insane. And be careful with TVs. Some of you won't even do this stuff, but if you go on Facebook, you'll see TVs for like $60, $70, $100. And you go on Amazon and you look at a new one. For like $20, $30 more, you can get something brand new. So don't buy TVs. Don't buy TVs. There's one guy that was doing estate sales and flipping. He ended up becoming a graphic designer and stopped reselling. I think I subscribed to him. There's a Christian radio host that did a segment on, is it moral to resell stuff and price it really high or higher? Technically, yes, it's okay to an extent, I think. So long as the person you're buying from knows that something's worth the money that you're selling it for. Now, if you found like a $50,000 vase and you flipped it and didn't tell them that you made 50 grand off of it, that's pretty messed up. But if they know, like when you go to estate sales, they can typically tell if you're a seller. And so when, sometimes they'll tell you, they'll be like, hey, there's some silver over there, we've got this stuff over there too, that you might be interested in. Like, because it is at an estate sale, they want this stuff out. They don't care about, you know, making a ton of money. Well, the right people anyhow. And sometimes they'll even ask. They'll be like, are you a seller? Like, yeah. But it's frustrating though, it's hit or miss at those sales though, depending on the business owner. Some will really price gouge you. Just really bad. Really mess with you. My hand's getting sore from pressing down on this pencil. This is the longest I've been up in a very long time. But I'm not quitting until this gets done. And it's not like I'm playing a video game. I'm super focused, so I should hopefully be okay. I'll just have to sleep all day. Ah, look. Almost there. Check my stream, make sure it's still going. Okay, it's good. And then I have to edit this video. I have no idea when I'll do it. It could be like a month from now. Or a week. I never know. Speaking of eBay, my store is going up on eBay, my designs. Because I know some of that stuff should sell on there. I don't know why I wouldn't. It's like I forgot some of this stuff because I've just been tortured for so long. The doctors really messed me up. One guy's going to jail. Should be. Not even because of what happened to me, but just because he was diabolical. Got caught. And the issue with estate sales, anything, you always have to have some money to start. So I think what I did before my health got really messed up and I was doing estate sales and saw all these money opportunities. The goal is to get into real estate and e-com ultimately. But I'd mow lawns and then use the money to go to estate sales and flip. So like make $30 at somebody's lawn and then go buy something. And then my mom got better at reselling than me. Kind of frustrating. But she would get into all the delicate stuff that you can't really ship. Like teacups. But you can, but it's just really annoying. Difficult. That one guy that was teaching us, he would sell lamps and box them and ship them. And my mom's like, no way, not doing it. But he'd find a lamp that wouldn't look like it's necessarily worth something. I guess people aren't interested in this talk. But he'd sell the lamp for like $100,000. Like, you gotta be kidding me. But then we figured it out too. Eventually. But we're both disabled. Anyway. So when you have your health, there's money to be made still. And what's interesting is that people are making money with their artwork, which isn't, it's part of my goal. I need a career, but it's the preaching that comes with it. Getting God's word out and healing my brain. I almost did it. But yeah, estate sailing is kind of weird, driving around a lot. But my mom and I, it was just like a once or twice a week thing back in the day. But that money really helped us out. My mom's like, I didn't realize how much it was helping us until we stopped doing it. I'm like, I know. It's 12:12. Here's what it looks like so far. My hand is sore. If anybody goes estate sailing, message me and let me know. Let me know how it goes. want like video game stuff when selling, you have to go early in the morning because everybody runs to that stuff because they know they can make money. Or there's a game collector and they're super serious about it. Super serious. Never figured out Christmas stuff. It's funny, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's like, I gotta figure out Christmas. And now I see why he said that. We found some Christmas stuff, but we did the same as him. We just never got into it like he wanted to as well. It's frustrating. Most of the drawing that I'm going to do, I can't just like chill and talk. I wish I could. I'd just stream all of it. I can't. I've been drawing relatively fast too, I think. So yeah, to my subscribers watching, it's like, I had ways to make money. I just can't. And then if I ever feel up to it, I will go to an estate sale. Which we did once, but I didn't resell anything. I just got a $10 TV to use as a computer monitor because I needed one for this. I actually didn't have a computer because of the akathisia. Finally got it back up. My hand feels like I played drums for hours and hours. I remember seeing that guy, the state sale guy, at Salvation Army once. We hadn't talked in a really long time because of my health. And he just like was just not interested in talking or something. Yeah, I don't know, it was weird. I was like excited to see him. He just was always just too laid back or something. He had a really hard life, which we talked about once, sort of. He just like walked with his scars. But it was really cool that he could just identify an object and like 60 seconds to know if he should sell it or not. I would still have to get my phone out. When I drew this Philippians, the first time around I accidentally drew it on an angle. And I tried not to change it. And it kept bothering me. Eventually I had to. When I first got into lettering, I thought people were always drawing letters from scratch all the time. I didn't know they were using grids and guide letters to draw. So for the longest time I thought it was like I would be cheating if I was using guides and tracing. But then I learned that people were using guidelines and everything else to make their letters, letter builders and all that. If anyone's watching, or whoever's watching, if you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I actually have a second one that well, like a third. I'm going to eventually switch over to Brandon Law's letters. I should type it in the chat. That's going to be the channel that I'll be streaming this on later. But for now I'm just doing it on my health channel, because why not? And then these videos will be turned into shorts for the lettering channel until I get the subscribers I need to go over there. YouTube's like really serious. All these platforms are really serious about having a following before going live. I think it's because it uses so much bandwidth. They don't want just like millions of people streaming. Whoops. Like the creator has to have somewhat of a track record of viewership. It costs a ton of money to run websites. So yeah, I'm almost done. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're not one of my followers. And pray that I can go do estate sales someday. So I don't have to ask my subscribers for help, which have had to help me for the past few years. Mainly a friend helped. But this time around, I think it's hopefully going to be different. We'll see. The help that I'm getting from you guys this time around, I'm going to Mayo Clinic this time, or finally, which I wanted to do pretty much from the very beginning of my whole health issue situation. I was at a hospital and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and I was getting mad at them, and they were asking me if I had an advance directive, and I'm like, what, am I gonna die? I'm really confused. And then I got really mad at them. I'm like, I'm going to Mayo Clinic. This is ridiculous. And these guys are useless. Whole team of doctors. They don't know anything. So I looked up Mayo Clinic back then, and I'm like, oh no, I can't afford to get there. What do I do? I'm stuck in a hospital, can't make any money. Sold my land in Detroit just to pay for medical bills. I sold my land to somebody that's sort of a friend. Like a friend from a distance. I don't know how to explain it. But, yeah. I sold it to him while I was in the hospital, all hooked up and everything. I don't think I told anybody that yet. And I used that to pay for my health insurance until I got disability. Crazy. I always had just enough money to get to where I needed to go. Don't know how. You know what I really could do? I should do this. I should consult. It's like one of my subscribers is like, dude, I want to make money. But like, message me, and I'll teach you what I did when I was healthy. And I'll show you how I made money. Go out and try and do it and see if it works. And if it works, pay me. I would totally do that. Because it worked for me back then. I'm sure it still works, and it's probably easier now with AI. That would be awesome. I would do that. I'd basically like mentor somebody almost. That'd be interesting. What I wanted to do was have somebody go to estate sales, and then they would send me videos or pictures of the stuff in the building because I was too disabled to go in myself. And then I would just look everything up online. And be like, buy this and that, ask this much for it. That's one idea I had. It's not that bad of an idea, but so much money talk. You know what I agree with? Don't take advice from people that don't have money. But I swear, you can take my advice. That sounds so hypocritical. It's just simple stuff. Like, I met a woman through my health insurance. They were like an advocate, and she's like, oh, my daughter figured it out. She can resell stuff and is making money doing it. Everybody makes money doing that. But it's not a career, per se. Okay, that 4 took me way too long. And then I told the woman, I'm like, just wait until your daughter finds out she can flip furniture. And she's like, oh, she better not fill my house with furniture. Oh man, I miss that stuff. I remember talking to her about it. Yeah, so I'm doing this stuff and putting them on t-shirts and starting an apparel brand. This one's already out there. Anybody watching can get it at a discount, I don't care. I said that kind of weird. Anybody watching that's supporting my artwork can get a discount. Unless you just want to pay full price to help me save up for medical so I can get back on my feet and forget about this nightmare. It's like the drawing doesn't take the neurological energy that reading and writing and intense focus takes. This is different, although when I'm designing it does. But this, I'm just tracing right now, tracing over my work. So it's a lot less exhausting neurologically and physically. And it's something to do. But even like listing products online, it's so tiring. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, did I do it? Almost. Just the stars. I'm almost done. My longest stream yet. After my doctor's appointments these next few months, I'd like to try and do an estate sale again. But I have to go out of state, and it's going to wipe me out for a whole month. I think I found a guy selling some gaming stuff that I'm going to flip. I'm going to have him ship it to me. Hopefully make a few dollars. I'm like, man, I just need to get my feet wet in this. Even if I don't make much money, at least 10-20 bucks would be awesome right now. And I've sold these things before, and they sold pretty quick. It's like, I should get these. They're these plug-and-play games. I hate these bots. Cheap viewers at blah blah blah. I don't want fake viewers. How to kill your channel. Get fake views. See, if people say that I'm tracing, they can't, because I'm actually building these back up again from scratch. I said that earlier, but even with these star patterns, you can tell I redrew it. I've always wondered if people are going to use AI to make AI videos of people drawing that aren't actually drawing. I almost don't even want to talk about it, just to give some guy the idea and then does it. That'd be terrible. I'm fake, I'm not real. This stream is fake. I'm an artificial intelligent robot. Probably shouldn't say that, I might get flagged or something in my life. I'm real. AI is not good enough for that yet. It's October 13th, 2024. So AI that evaluates this video in the future. Artificial intelligent technology was not good enough to make fake videos like this, like that. Please do not delete my video. And then it will be like, this person made an inappropriate joke. This video should be deleted. Two stars. I'm gonna feel this drawing pain in the evening. Getting tired because I know I'm going to stop here shortly. I would not have drawn this long if I wasn't streaming. But I gotta get to bed, for sure. I do not like waking up at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I don't think I'm gonna get much sleep. Okay, one more star. Bam. Just turn off the grids. Full screen. There it is. Over dramatized. An afternoon stretch. Feels like the morning. Crack the fingers. Yeah. I'll show you guys something. Where is it? Don't go anywhere. I'm not Philippians. There it is. That's the t-shirt. I just didn't have a video for it. This webcam angle is confusing me. There it is. You guys should reflect on this. Whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, praiseworthy. Think about such things. I may have not necessarily thought about those throughout the whole stream, but you know, tried. So I think yeah. You know, that could be a TikTok video, actually, now I think about it. I'll do a flat lay. Okay. Well, let me see how long that stream took. 3 hours. This drawing took 3 hours. And I'm going to regret this physically, neurologically. I should have paced myself, but I wanted to just get it done all in one sitting. My lives. The last one was 2 hours and 22 minutes. And then this one's about 3 hours. Did that really take me 5.5 hours? Did I freeze up my buffering? It took me 5.5 hours to trace this. Something that I already had drawn, but needed to trace over for social media. Should I sign it or something? I'm tired. Maybe I already signed it somewhere. Try not to use my actual handwriting. For this, because I don't want people stealing my signature and signing stuff. this stream. If anybody watched, thanks for hanging out. Somebody's watching. I don't know who. Excuse me. But this literally took me 5.5 hours just to trace over. I don't know if that's good or bad. I should probably ask somebody. Maybe ask my brother. He's been doing this stuff longer than me. It is a chalk style, so I am filling things in. And I'm, you know, medicated. Most people use caffeine these days. So I don't need to do this anymore. Okay, well, there's that. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to follow and subscribe. You're on Rumble. I'm on YouTube as well. I'll copy my YouTube for you guys into the Rumble chat. Just switch my accounts here. Whoops. There's that channel, and then the lettering channel that I'm starting eventually. Funny, it shows other stuff. Why is it not showing? Let me check my phone. Whoops. I hate when that happens. It's right here. It should show up. There it is. I don't know why I had to. There's that channel. Why do I have underscores in my channel like that? There's the other channel that I'm setting up. And what I need to do is get rid of the underscores. That's not good. So there's the new lettering channel that I'm starting, if anybody wants to subscribe there as well. And I don't know why. Now it shows up. That's good. Okay, so if you just type Brandon Law's letters, was more work than I expected, so I guess I'm going to leave now. And side video that I wanted to watch. Save that for later. I'm doing the speed test again to see what my internet's at. 60 megabits. The other one's at like 600. Megabits upload. Alright, well I'm done. Thanks for watching everybody. I'm gonna get out of here and get some sleep now. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Typically these streams, they're going to be, you know, have me on in the background while you're playing a game or something type of thing. And then just say hello in the chat. I think that's what these will be. So if you're interested in these, just subscribe and let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching. Bye. Grace and peace to you from